All right, so here we go. It's going to be a very, very short flight from Yucca Valley Airport. That is Lima 22 in Southern California. It's just a few miles north of Palm Springs. And I'm going to head over to Banning Pass, which is an airport just maybe 20, 25 miles to the southwest. Very short flight, but this plane is plenty slow, so I'm not too worried about that. This is a Fairchild PT-19. Excellent tail dragger airplane, although it tends to, in my experience, overheat. And me being in California right now doesn't help. Just gonna quickly check what kind of temperature. I'm just gonna pull out the map here so you can have a look here. The closest weather reporting is, well, 29 Palms. The military base reports 33 degrees. Probably not visible here. 33 degrees. Slight wind from the southeast, so that's not going to be a factor. 3002 for the altimeter. Let's see what Palm Springs has. 35 degrees and 8 knots from the east. 2986, so the pressure is actually quite a bit lower right there. Let's see if there's any change going toward the LA basin here. Pressure is slightly higher, temperature is slightly lower, and the wind is from the northwest, so there's a wind change in the, on my way westbound here. So that's going to be interesting because this is a very deep valley, big mountains on each side. There's a reason why there's a big set of windmills going through here. Banning Pass is when it gets windy, it gets to be a lot of action. So I'm headed from, let's just restart this, from Yucca Valley to Banning. That's my plan, but I'm not going to use this. This is just for reference. So I can just link this, throw it into the chat. I have to log in. That is a kind of a weird thing. Give me a second. Now I can chat with myself. That is hilarious. Anyway. That is the route of flight. we can see that the sun is just about to set here. So I need to get going because this plane has no lights. It has nothing. And so I need to plan accordingly. I need to get out of here before the sun sets. And I see that the wind is favoring. Just gonna pretend that I'm walking out to the airport here. It's a slight wind. Might very well just go directly out and take off. Back taxiing is not gonna. Well, should I take off this way? No. Okay, I'll have to back taxi. It's a bit on the short side to go directly out there. And here's the deal. Due to the overheating issues with this plane, I need to just, when I have started the engine, I just need to get going. I cannot sit on the ramp faffing around. So all the preparations before needs to be done. So with that in mind, I'm going to do a control check. So I'm going to release the controls. So that goes up and this goes down. And that goes up, this goes down. Up, down, right, and left. And flap lever moves. I'm going to leave the flaps down for now, so that I can check them when I get outside. 3001 was the altimeter. Which is now roughly set, which brings me to 3,240 feet. 3,224 is what the map says, so that's within reason. So I'm going to be departing. So there's runway 6, and what would that opposite be? That would be this is that conversion. 26. That's roughly, so that's 26 and 8. So I'm going to departing. Is that right? No, runway. The one runway is 6. So that's not quite east. So that means 24, 24 and 6. And 24 is the one I'm going to departing this way. And there's normal left traffic for runway 6. Another thing that I need to do now is, because I'm flying a PilotEdge challenge where I'm not allowed to use GPS. So I'm going all the way and not using even ForeFlight. I usually use ForeFlight, which would be much easier, but I'm going to take a paper chart. So I need to refold this one. It's always a hassle. I wonder how people survived this back in the day, having to fold their maps like this. In the cockpit, no less. Okay, that's where it is. It needs to go. Oh, this is a disaster. I think that changed it. Sometimes I used to fly with paper charts several years ago. And sometimes you'd go through this rigmarole of folding the maps. And then when you're finished, you're back where you started. Anyway, map is ready to go. Just verify fuel is off and everything is back at idle. And trim is alive. So I think all should be good. No, I need to set my clock. I'm gonna set it to my local time, which is 03:20. Just so I have a number to work with. And then I'm gonna wind the watch. This is an excellent plane, you know, where you have to wind the mechanical watch in the plane. All right, and that's the carb heat. So now it's time to do the walk around. This is the Fairchild PT-19 made by Uncle Jack. So here is where all of the stuff that I pick off the plane goes. And so that thing there, that's the crank for the engine. The engine is started by hand cranking. So let's see here. I have 1/4 tank of fuel on the left side. Fire extinguisher ready. And that crank goes there. Now you can see it's gone. So I'm gonna do crank through a couple of times just to check that I don't have an hydraulic lock. Oil settling into the cylinders. And then I'm going to just leave the crank. I'm going to just move it away so that I can open the primer. So I'm just going to have a inspection of the plane here. Propeller, no cracks. And here's the protection for the cowling. A lot of the components inside the engine are also modeled, but I'm not going to deal with that today. Check the oil. And I can see oil, so that's close enough. And lastly, check. Okay, the right tank has slightly more fuel. It has a little bit more than a 1/4 tank. Chocks are already out. I may have taken them out earlier. Flaps are down, as you can see, so I'm going to remember to pull them back up. So what we're going to do now is to first take the flaps up, so I remember that. Right tank has more fuel, so I'm going to take that. I need to use this wobble to pump up the fuel pressure. Come on. So let me put it this way. Now I can see the oil pressure over, the fuel pressure over here, and I can see the wobble pump here. That's better. Not fully into the red line, but that's good. So now I'm going to set ignition on, mixture rich, and slightly cracked throttle, and back out to the crank. See if I can get that thing started. Well, now I need to prime it first. Try that, see how that goes. Okay, clear prop. Excellent. Take the crank away. Set idle up a little bit so that the engine doesn't die. And now I need to get going. So back out, primary is locked, lock this one, and close this door, and lock it. And I should get going now. The engine is gonna heat up in very rapidly. Right. Is that the... we got... yeah, that was the pitot cover. So, forgot about that. That would be interesting to take off without moving the pitot cover. If I did that, I wouldn't be able to see my airspeed. Alright, let's see here. I can see no traffic in either direction, so I'm just gonna barge out. I think my tires are very worn, or the brakes are sticking or something, because usually when I taxi this plane I can roll around on the ramp at 1000 RPM, but now I really need to power it away. Okay, I'm not going to take more runway than this, because I don't need more, and I'm gonna want to be able to take off before the engine starts to really heat up. It's already at 50 degrees. Right. Just a quick mag check. And a carb heat check. All good. Okay, let's go. Try to keep some semblance of control here. Here we go. Probably on the loud side, this engine. I'm gonna turn down a little bit. Right. So now I'm headed out runway 24. Oof, it's really getting dark already. Well, thankfully I have a flashlight with me, so I can use that. Probably need to. So I'm gonna continue in this runway heading, and they're gonna pick up the main road that leads out of the town. You can probably see it already in front of me here. That's going to take me down towards Palm Springs. And once I get to Palm Springs, I'm just going to turn east into the pass. And that's going to head me directly towards the airport. So I'm above this main road now. I follow that out and down to Palm Springs. Yep, I had feared that this departure was on the late side. Spent a little bit too much on the pre-flight, or rather the pre-flight, before really starting. I had actually planned on going up to Big Bear, which is on top of this mountain here, because I really need to get fuel. And this airport that I just left doesn't have fuel. So, I had planned to go to Big Bear. However, Big Bear is many thousands of feet above the elevation of the airport I just left, so it would require a lot of climbing to get there. That would take a lot of fuel for one thing, and it would also take its toll on the heat of the engine. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a flashlight, because this is not going to work. I need to see at least some of my instruments here. Outside is not so problematic, because I can always follow the roads and... ooh, good grief, look at this. Got traffic in front of me here. You see those planes passing in front of me here. That's a set of fighter jets in the valley. Probably doing some formation work. So, the light you're seeing now on the dashboard, that's basically like a light on my head once I'm moving around. The lights you see in the distance here, that's Palm Springs Airport. To which I would have traveled if this plane had a radio. Which it doesn't. In fact, this plane doesn't even have an electrical system. It has nothing. So it's one of the old-fashioned magneto starting engines. So it has a magneto that produces spark. So if you give it fuel, which was why I primed it in the beginning, once you start turning the engine, it will... oh Jesus, there's the wind churning around. You can really feel it pushing around. Yeah, so once you start spinning the engine, you will have spark. And that's basically it. All the other instruments are mechanically driven. So the altitude, the altimeter, which is right here, is driven by air pressure. So it's basically a pressure gauge. It reads the air pressure, converts it to altitude. The airspeed indicator is also kind of an airspeed or air pressure indicator, but it reports ram air, which is that little stick on the wing here. It takes in air pressure and converts the ram air pressure to speed. The clock is a mechanical watch clock that I wound up. So that just basically is driven by a spring, so it's that primitive. The RPM is driven by the rotation of the engine. Oil and fuel pressure are pressure mechanical pressure gauges or sensors inside the engine and the fuel lines. And the temperature is the same. It's probably a baffle that is moving by the heat and expanding or retracting. And then there is the good old compass, which is a magnetic compass driven by the magnetic field of the Earth, and it's suspended in a glass of some liquid, an oil or something. It's called a whiskey compass, probably because it may be used to be a whiskey inside there, I don't know. It's very wobbly, so if I punch on the rudders, you can see it doesn't stop immediately. It wobbles around, and it's lagging. So not a very precise instrument. Just have to be careful now, so that I don't bust into the Charlie airspace of Palm Springs. Not going to be a big problem, because it's the upper, whatchamacallit, the top of the delta, rather, airspace of Palm Springs is 3,000 feet. And I'm currently almost at 5, so I could fly just directly over the airport if I wanted to. However, I also try to avoid the lateral bounce of the airspace if I can. Which I can. And I'm soon going to be turning right. You can see the Banning Pass through here. That's where I'm headed. In the distance, where all the beautiful color is, that's Los Angeles. And I can see airplanes over there. I can see some airplanes here as well. Not many. I'm gonna take myself back a little bit so you can have a better view of what's going on. Probably should have done that from the start, because my camera is blocking a nice view. Anyway, you can see the sun setting in the back, background there. It's basically Pacific Ocean. And now I'm above a huge ton of windmills. You can see the well, actually, yeah, you can see in these, because these are lit by the sun. You can see them spinning around. Some of them are kind of obscured by the placement in the shadow. Anyway, coming up on Banning Pass and the road that I'm going to be following, the airport is actually just over there. I can see it, and it's runway 26. That is the straight-in runway. The question now is whether or not I should be going straight in or doing a pattern. I'll consider that when I get there. It looks like there's traffic over there. Yeah, I can see traffic. That might be in the distance, so I'm gonna have to get closer to find out. Airport elevation 2,222. 2222. That's the elevation. So I'm going to start down. Just check the fuel status in the wing here. Okay, so the right wing is now down to the level of the left wing. So I have plenty of fuel. Yeah, going straight in seems very palatable, given the light situation. I mean, I shouldn't be flying here. For one thing, I cannot see very much, but the other pilots are not going to see me at all. So I have to base myself on see and avoid. There's quite a bit of traffic out here. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planes. I don't think all of them are going to this airport though. Some of them might be just coming through the pass. It's kind of difficult to spot what their relative motion to me is. So I have to just base myself on seeing them and avoiding them, and not expecting them to see me and avoiding me. I'm basically I'm a stealth plane at this point. So this one to my right here seems like it's quite a bit above me, and I'm actually quite high up. So that one is not very likely to come into this airport. Although it is right pattern for the 26 runway. So if that's plane coming in here, he could be on a right downwind. If so, he will be turning right and coming in behind me. So I really hope he's not turning right. There's a plane up here. And another plane up there. Oh, that's far away. How about this one? Is he? Yeah, he's still behind me. Yeah, this turned out to be a very bad idea. And I just have enough light to be able to you know, recognize the horizon. So that's not going to be a factor in terms of I'm going to be able to keep the right side up, so to speak. But yeah, go away. But I will not be able to see the how far above the runway I am. And I don't see any poppy lights at this airport. So this is really stupid. Yeah, I can see now 2 planes on a right base. You can see these. There's one here coming in, and another one here. All the other planes around me here are sufficiently far away to not be a factor. At least I think so. Unless that guy behind me is coming in. Well, no, he's far away. So these 2 airplanes, though, are going to be a factor. See, one is just on short final now, and yeah, I think the other one has just landed. Looks like they're a flight of 2 because they're on the runway or approaching the airport at the same time. Yeah, so, and here's the thing. I don't know if there's a huge mountain below me here. I don't think so. I've flown into this airport before, and I don't remember it being close to anything here. But that's not a very good way of gauging that, to remember whether or not there's terrain. This is very sketchy. And here's another plane coming in. Is he coming into the airport? Well, he's going to be behind me regardless. Okay, I think this is it. I just have to go in. And hope for the best. Actually, there's Vasi lights. See them now on the left side. So there is at least that. So now I just have to glide down to the runway and hope I can gauge my altitude over the ground. Well, gonna keep my speed up because that guy behind me is going to land and he doesn't know that I'm here. I can't see nothing. I can see the center lines. I can see barely see just barely see the edge. Okay, I'm going to taxi over to the lighted tarmac here. Oof. Yeah, that was a mistake. That was a really stupid idea. Come on. Brakes. Hold. Not very useful. Actually, so that's the brakes being held. These are the brakes not. Okay, so that's how it works. Alright. Anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and shut down and park this plane and just pretend this flight didn't pan out this way. What is this? Board and Banning? Twitch.tv/Torbinator97. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna check that out. Torbinator. '97. How interesting. That's an Easter egg. Alright. Shutting down. And at the same time, the light in the room goes out. So, all that is shut down. I'm gonna lock the controls. Thus, and let me see if I'm able to do a walk around. Okay, there's enough light here to see by. Yeah, those are the covers that were in the front. Put them back in. And I think that's all I need from there. And yeah, the trucks are probably coming with those. Yeah, I think that's it. That was a short and unsweet flight. That was one of the dumbest things I've done in a long time, I think. If I did this in the Beaver I usually fly, it would be no problem because it has It has GPS, even though I'm not supposed to use it for this flight. It has it, so I can use it if I must. Lots of traffic here. But it also has lights, so I'm able to see the ground as I'm taxiing around and landing and all of that, and I'm able to be spotted, so I would be visible as these planes are. So anyways, I'm gonna shut down and go be ashamed of my stupid choice. And try to come up with a flight that is at least 1 hour earlier. That would be good. Anyway, thanks for watching, or coming into the VOD and watching that. Could always learn something from even the stupidest mistake. Well, at least I didn't die, and I don't think anyone else died on my account. So with that, I'm gonna be signing off and go be ashamed. So see ya.